So now we'll run through the record keeping process and the sterilisation process of the tools. But first things first, we've got our filing cabinet here, in which we store things like the consent forms, of course all in a chronological order. They need to be kept on site at the actual shop for 3 months and in total for 1 year. Of course, proof of the clients coming in and giving their consent to get tattooed. So of course it's from newest to oldest, organised by month. So let's take one from January for an example. Now, what we've got, of course, all aligning with the Queensland standards. We've got, of course, the personal details of the client listed there, license number, date, the tattooed name, of course, all of our terms that they're giving consent to, and lastly, we've got the actual signature of the client themselves and the practitioner on there. Now, what we've got stapled to the form itself is the actual sterilisation pouches of all the equipment we've used on the tattoo that day. So things like the grips, the tips, and the actual needles. So here we've got the actual packaging from the top of the sterile pouch that the needles come in. Of course, proof that they were used on that day for this customer. And we've got the actual sterilisation pouches. So we've used these in the autoclave to sterilise the equipment, things like the reusable grips and tips. And we can see here that they were actually sterilised on the 24th of January 2019, and then of course used on the 31st of January 2019. Now, what we've got here, of course, is the changing of colour sterilisation strip that proves that they have actually successfully been sterilised. So changed these arrows from red to black and to yellow. Now, if we do have any discrepancies, inspections, anything at all, what we can do, we can take our logbook of all of our sterilisations, we can go back to the 24th of January, when this was actually sterilised. So January 24th. So here we can see the 24th of January, the actual receipt from the autoclave. We've got 5 bags in total we put in, including 1 tip and 5 grips that we've actually sterilised. And we can actually have a look at the details of the procedure. So sterilisation start was at 17 past 11 and finished at 20 past 11. And here we've got the actual the temperatures and the pressure that's used. So we've got to 3.26 bar or 326 kPa, and it's of course gotten up to 136 degrees Celsius. And that's basically how the sterilisation works with the autoclave, a combination of pressure, time and temperature. And that's all, of course, gone successfully. So we have proof that the equipment used on that day was successfully sterilised. Now we'll have a look at the actual process of sterilising some equipment. So firstly, we'll pop on some clean gloves, of course. So we don't want to be touching everything during the process. Now the autoclave itself, of course, uses steam to penetrate through the sterilisation pouches to actually achieve the pressure and temperature to clean and sterilise the equipment. So what we do to generate that steam is we fill it up with demineralised water. Of course, instead of regular water, it doesn't have any contaminants or minerals, making sure it's a sterile environment. But firstly, we're going to drain any excess water from the previous usage. So here in the drainage hole, you're going to plug that in, simply let gravity empty any of that excess water, just emptying it, of course, into the receptacle here. Let it drain itself. Of course, this is really just water. We're just going to empty it down the drain once it's done draining. Make sure it's nice and done dripping. So we're going to remove that. Now once again, we're in contact with the water in ourselves. Just let it drain down the sink. We're ready to refill the autoclave. So we've got some demineralised water. Now we're going to gently unscrew the cap. Place in the funnel. We want to be careful not to overfill the autoclave, of course. So we'll watch out for the beeping noise when it does get to the maximum level. We'll fill it up. Nice steady stream. That's the beep, indicating that it is now completely full. Yes. And we will once again screw on the covering cap nice and gently. Now we want to insert, of course, some of our grips into the sterilisation pouches. So we'll simply open one up. We've got these all disassembled, the individual pieces of the grip, of course. So we're just going to place them in right into that pouch so they can be sterilised. The steam can penetrate through the paper side, get into there, apply the pressure and temperature. So we pop that one in. We can also place in a tip as well. Just a standard diamond tip, we're going to pop that in with that. Now we're going to take off this adhesive strip, discard that, and we're just going to fold it over, perforated edge, and then from the center until flatten it out. So it's all completely sealed and ready to be placed into the autoclave. Now we're going to place it in on one of these trays, of course, with the paper side up, so the steam can actually penetrate through, and then once it's done, it can actually escape without condensing in there and trapping any steam in the actual pouch. Just going to repeat the process once again. So I'm going to take individual pieces of the grip, place them in the pouch, remove the adhesive strip, make sure it's completely sealed, folding it over from the center out, make sure it's all completely touching that adhesive strip. So it's completely sealed, and once again, placing it inside on the tray, paper side up, so any steam can penetrate and escape from the pouch. And once that's ready to go, what we'll do, we'll just close it up. Of course, ensuring there is receipt paper ready to print out the actual procedure, so we do have proof. Of course, we can see it's at maximum water, and once we're ready, we'll just pop start on and get the process started. Thank you.